I want to find out if checking up on our kids' whereabouts is a good idea or an invasion of privacy. Maybe we should just trust that they're safe, like we did before all this technology. I've never used tracking apps on my teenage boys, and Joe, my youngest, wants it to stay that way.
I think we're old enough to do what we want, to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Okay. But I do see the safety reasons for it. I think it depends on the nature of the parents, because there could be weird controlling parents out there, but there also could be nice parents that are just trying to look after their son or daughter.
Mum Claudia uses location sharing to keep track of her teenage children. What was your motivation for using tracking apps in the first place?
I think we live in a dangerous world. I think teenagers don't make the best decisions, and then I think we should take advantage of technology. There was one particular example when my daughter was 15 and she was going to someone's house in a taxi with her best friend, but using the tracking apps, I could see that in fact she was headed 20 miles in the opposite direction. So I called her up, demanded to know where she was going. She attempted to lie, but there's no lying with technology. I made her turn the car around and come straight back home.
And would she ever do anything like that again?
She would never do anything like that again. I do trust my daughter. So I only use it now if I feel that she's going somewhere that I would find particularly worrying.
Part of me wonders if Claudia's actions were overzealous, although she might have stopped her daughter from getting into trouble. The students at Merest Wood College in Guildford feel kids should be allowed to make mistakes.
I think there's a feeling of micromanagement behind it, so always feeling like there's someone watching you and that you have to prove yourself. So having to say, well, you know I'm here, and they argue and go, well, I don't think you are, this says you're 2 houses down or maybe a road out.
Has that happened to you?
Yes, and it did cause negativity. I definitely don't think was necessary at the time.
Are we suggesting that parents who do use tracking apps are monitoring their kid for 24 hours?
I've seen it where then we'll check every sort of 10 minutes and making sure that their child is exactly where they say they are.
Kira, if you were tracked by your parents and you switched it off, what do you think your parents would think?
They'll probably think I'm trying to hide something, and I do think that would cause a lot of issues.
It's this lack of trust that concerns experts. Emma Svanberg is a child psychologist and the author of Parenting for Humans. Could it lead to a child feeling like they're just not trusted by their mum or dad?
I mean, the key word here is transparency. So if you're going to put a tracking app on your child's phone, being able to be really open with them about why you feel like that's important, doing it with their consent, so that it becomes something that you're doing as a collaboration. It's not something that you're imposing onto your child. I think when it's done without consent, that's when it can leave a child feeling like they're not trusted.
Tracking teens sounds like it can be a bit of a minefield, but for some there is a middle ground to be found.
I don't think it is an invasion of my privacy.
16-year-old Millie feels comforted to know Mum Maxine is watching out for her.
It does make me feel safer knowing that she knows my location in case anything does happen.
So that's interesting. It makes her feel safer.
Yes, it's a backup that Mum or Dad is there, but they're not in our face. And they're not spying on us. I think that's what I've always tried to reiterate. I can't see you, but should things go wrong, I know where you are and I can get to you as soon as I can.
I can definitely see why some people might want to track their kids, but I'm not convinced it's for me.
You know, it's massive, it's so...
I'd worry too much about damaging the trust I have with my boys.
Cheers.